If you want to start your own independent school, don't quit your day job. I'm Ron Hardman with Kilroy's Workshop, and I started Kilroy's in 2013, just out of a little airplane hangar with a porta potty. And I actually didn't get paid for the first 8 years of Kilroy's. I wanted to build Kilroy's Workshop up. I kept my day job so that I could actually pour all of the resources that I needed to into Kilroy's to develop this into what it is today. 15,000 square foot school. Over 4,000 students attended at least one class last year alone, and that would not have happened if I would have quit my day job right away. Now, I've talked with a lot of people who are just burned out on what they do for a living, and they think the answer is going to be, well, I'm just going to go off and open up an independent school and teach what I used to do, or they've got another topic, a hobby or something like that they want to teach, and they look at that as a solution for, kind of being burned out on their career. But really, really, really watch that. It's so easy to think that that's going to solve all of the problems and that it's going to be an easy thing getting these things started. An independent school is incredibly difficult to run. That's where running Kilroy's comes in. I want to help you through that process. And I've got 3 tips to share with you today, plus a little bonus 4th thing to dig into to help you through that process. My first piece of advice is profit first. There's a guy named Mike Michalowicz. I won't try to spell it for you. The spelling reminds me of some of the names that I grew up with back home in Wisconsin. Mike Michalowicz wrote a book called Profit First. It's a great book. I recommend you get it. He does his own audiobooks as well, so if you're an Audible fan, go pick one of those up as well. And I don't get a dime for saying that, Mike, just so you know. But go ahead and pick that up. In there, he talks about actually creating an account, a set-aside, called that's your profit. That's the owner's account. And so what I want you to do is when you start building your school, actually put the money off into that savings account as if you're taking a profit. Do that for 6 months. And if you can do that and still operate your school while taking that little set-aside profit, then you know that the school can actually afford to pay you your salary. And the bonus is you got a 6-month savings account set aside to actually expand this thing even faster and further. My second tip is make small mistakes. The temptation when you first decide that you're going to open up a facility like this is to jump in with both feet. You take all of your savings and pile that in, buy the building of your dreams, really dive down into the weeds of what you want to do and go full bore into it. And while I admire that tenacity and the desire to do that kind of thing, it's also easy to make big mistakes that way. What I want you to do is make small mistakes. You will make mistakes. So just get that out of your head that everything's going to be perfect. But make them on a small scale, something that you can recover from. For example, with Kilroy's, I actually started out teaching mostly woodworking. Now we teach almost entirely metalworking. Well, that's a big shift, especially with tools and students and the types of projects that we have and stuff. But I tested it on a small scale first, and I made those small mistakes, and I made adjustments to it, and I found out what worked and what didn't, and then we grew from there. So make those small mistakes. Well, my third tip for you is leap when you can. While it's great to stay in your day job for a while, understand when it's time to actually make that jump, because that can seem a little bit daunting as well, especially if you are the sole breadwinner in your home. So really evaluate that profit first, that first tip that I've got, if it can pay you properly. If you can do that and you've got a solid base of customers, make that leap, because if you stay in your day job too long, that becomes problematic as well, because you're going to get even more burned out than you were to begin with. And from a blacksmith, I'm saying this, too many irons in the fire can ruin the whole thing. So make sure that you're actually dialed into what you want to do and jump in at the right time with both feet, and then go at it with everything you've got. So my bonus piece of encouragement here for you is for those of you who are working with large companies, it might seem that that's the epitome of stability. So jumping off into your own is scary. You can't count on that next paycheck kind of a thing, right? If you're working for a large company, say like, I don't know, MCI or EDS or, maybe you got the point with those companies right there. How about Enron? Does that ring a bell for anybody? Just because you're working for a large company doesn't mean that company is going to have the doors open tomorrow. I worked for a large company, a huge company, and I got a call from a coworker off in another facility. They showed up to work and all of their computers were gone. Just out of the blue. There was no financial stress in the company at all. The company decided to close that facility down. They just forgot to tell everybody. So it's an illusion to think that just because you work for a large company and you got a paycheck last week, that you're going to get one next week. Whereas if you got your own place, if you go out there and you make a sale, that sale is yours. If you find a student, that student is yours, right? You got the ability to impact the bottom line far more when you're running independently than you ever would at a big company. When I worked for a big company, if I worked an extra 5 hours in a week, it didn't keep the lights on, right? It's had such a limited impact on it, but independently, you can actually have greater impact on your bottom line than you ever could for a big company. So that whole illusion of the stability of a large company is just an illusion. So trust in that. Join us here at Kilroy's workshop with Running Kilroy's and dig into the resources that we've got. I've got a lot of things for you here also at runningkilroys.com. If you go there, I've got all kinds of things there for you, free resources, blog entries, stuff. We've got some downloads for you too. Just enter your email address and you get access to those checklist items and things, and we're going to continue to grow that out as well. We also have Journeyman and Master classes that you can join, where it's a 3-month or a full year program where I actually mentor you through the process of building your organization or your independent school. Take care.
Wow, you're doing that thing hard, dude.